All right, so you're gonna have to forgive the quality of the camera here. I'm using the built-in webcam, and also I'm also using the built-in microphone for this laptop. The microphone's actually surprisingly good. Now I don't know. I'll say that after testing it yesterday, and I am on a different Linux distro, which I'll get to that here in a little bit. Um, but as soon as I say that, I might go into post and it just sounded really bad. But yesterday, the microphone sounded in this laptop really surprisingly good. Because, I mean, let's be real. A lot of laptop mics suck donkey balls, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, so, as the title says, what's my really why do I like Linux as much as I do? And if we're being real, I think the for me the realest reason why I really like Linux beyond it being very customizable and stuff, which is really nice. I really like it. I love it. But if we're being completely honest, the customization is not really what made me fall in love with Linux and has made me continue to be very much in love with Linux. It's not that. It really is the community surrounding Linux. And I have made a lot of really, really good friends that I don't know in person because of Linux. Uh, I mean, you guys know who you are, who are here on the channel and hang out in Discord, help email me, like talk to me. I have met so many amazing people and developed some really amazing relationships through Linux. And I feel like a lot of the times that doesn't get discussed almost at all just because people have the idea that the Linux community is elitist and um, they're it's a rude community to be in and um, this, that, and the third. And to be honest, like you're gonna have douchebags, um, people who are just not nice to deal with in every community. I mean, just everywhere. It's gonna happen. But the overwhelming majority of Linux users are very reasonable people, level-headed, very friendly, very willing to help, and overall just really nice. And that's the thing that really, really keeps me using Linux. Um, it's just one of those things where you don't you don't really build relationships through using something like Mac or Windows. You just don't, I mean, maybe you develop relationships that are really nice in a work environment because of Windows. Like if you work at Microsoft or through Apple, like yeah, you'll make friends with coworkers and stuff. And I'm sure you'll meet some great people there, but it's just not the same, man. Like there's I have so many people that I would never have met if it wasn't for Linux. And to be honest, there's so many of you guys that I really do appreciate, like us being able to talk and um, disagree with on our opinions. It's a very very rewarding experience actually becoming part of the community. Because for a long time I wasn't participating in the community. I used Linux, I talked to a few people, made videos occasionally, but I wasn't nearly as active in the Linux space community as I am now. And I really, really, really enjoy the Linux community. Everybody is just, I won't say everybody because again, there's bad apples in every community, but the overwhelming majority of people in the community are super nice, and I enjoy the fact that I know them. I think it would be a real shame if I didn't know a lot of you guys. I mean, there's so many of you I can't really go through. If I started naming people, I would be doing a disservice to everybody. I don't know if my microphone picked it up, but it just thundered. Uh, well, it, light lightning struck, but the thunder was really loud. But yeah, apparently it's going to be a nice rainy day, relaxing. I might stream later and do some ricing, or at least show off the rice that I've got now, because re-rice my system with the help of, again, one of the super nice people that I've met in this community, Smoig, or as I've been calling him, Smug, but doesn't matter. He's a really great guy, and I used his configuration of DWM as a starting point for this rice, and it's pretty much just his rice, little bit changed. It's fantastic. I really like it, but again, I I really don't know where I'd be right now if I didn't become part of the Linux community and start meeting and engaging with a lot of you guys. I really do appreciate it. Now, when this video was first started, I don't know if you'll remember this, but I did say that I was gonna get to the fact that I'm using a different distro right now. So for those of you who do keep up with me, if this is your first video, by the way, my name's Tyler. Go by Zany Online. Welcome. But I was on Void Linux. Primarily use Arch. Almost always use Arch. It's almost always what you'll see me on. But I pop around, try a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm pretty much always distro hopping, just because if I'm going to check out a distribution, if I want to talk about it or something like that, I install it on my actual main machine and use it. Because there's a lot of issues with distros that you won't find when you use them in a VM to just check them out. Because a VM, a virtual machine, is literally it's the most ideal environment for anything. Essentially, nothing's going to go wrong hardware wise. You're not going to run into any weird issues using VMs. So I like to test out stuff. But I was on Void. It was nice. I mean, really liked it. It had its issues for me personally. Not really anything necessarily to do with Void itself. But for me, at my VPN, for some reason they have set up the install script to just crap its pants if it doesn't detect systemd. So I guess the people who run my VPN believe systemd is the only init system in Linux, which is not the case, but that's besides the point. I was going to try. I was either going to go back to Arch, which I am on Arch right now, by the way. But I was considering. I was joking around about Debian, but I don't really know. Or not Debian, Gentoo. But I was pretty sure. I have a day off. I've got time to do stuff, but I really didn't want to spend my entire day compiling and trying to, see if Gentoo could have another chance on my machine. I'm pretty sure I've given Gentoo enough chances to see if it's a distro for me, and I just don't think source-based distros are my thing. But I tried out Debian. If you watch me at all, you'll know I've said this before. I'm not really gonna be shilling for Debian or telling anyone that it's a good distro that you need to go check out. I'm not saying Debian's bad, but I'm not recommending Debian to anyone because for one, their website is god awful. Trying to get a non-free ISO really quickly, it can be a challenge. You're gonna have to jump through hoops, and then even if you go through Google and something like that, and just Google it, or Brave search it, Bing it, whatever you use, whatever search engine you use, there's a good chance that one link will take you to a non-free one, but there's a good chance the first link that says non-free is not actually going to take you to to the actual non-free one, which is super annoying. But again, I'm not going to recommend Debian because their site needs to get fixed, because it shouldn't be that hard to distribute an ISO, and it shouldn't be that confusing to grab one. But I decided I was going to go ahead and try Debian just because it's a new version. I should go ahead and at least see if I like it. I download the non-free ISO because I need those Wi-Fi, the little pieces of firmware for my Wi-Fi card. Need it, especially because I don't I'm sure you can tell it, but I'm at somewhere completely different. I'm up at my grandparents' house, um, in the man cave, and I need Wi-Fi. I don't even know if there would be there's not an Ethernet port down here. That's pretty much for damn sure. So I need Wi-Fi. So I download that one and try to install it. And now it detects my Wi-Fi card. I can tell that it's not doing anything funky. It's reporting the Wi-Fi card exactly what it is. And yet, it would not exchange keys, or what, it wouldn't let me sign it with the correct password and everything. Like I checked it almost a dozen times because I was sure I was doing something wrong on my end. Nope. Debian, for some unearthly reason, even though Wi-Fi was working, it wasn't really working. I couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi network, which really ticks me off because, again, I've said it before, Debian is a good distro, and yet Debian refuses to act right on my machines. And I've had issues with Debian on every single machine I have. Even on my gigabyte bricks, I haven't tried Debian on in a long time, so again, this could have changed, but the last time I tried on there, I had Wi-Fi issues there, and that you can't even make the excuse that it's newer hardware because that gigabyte bricks is from 2014. So there's no excuse for it to not work. And Debian somehow amazes me at what it's able to not get right. Um, and then I wanted to go send, like, do a bug report for this Wi-Fi card, and man, Debian's bug reporting system is like, the way they write it, it's essentially like, if you haven't submitted bug reports before and you're not familiar with submitting bug reports, don't even do it. We don't want them, okay? Like, the way it was written was like, it was just very, very, as somebody who doesn't submit bug reports a lot, because I mean, generally, if I have issues with something, I'll talk about it in a video and then I move on. I pretty much use what works, and if something critical that I use, like a piece of software, has an issue, or I don't know, like I've submitted bug reports, I believe on Fedora. So like, I mean, it's not like I haven't ever done it before, but I don't know. As someone who doesn't do it a ton, not suit like, I, I don't submit bug reports all the time. It was really off-putting. Just the way it was written. Now again, it's definitely opinion, so I'm not saying it's fact. But just in my opinion, it was very off-putting. It seemed like sort of your rude teacher that you don't like dealing with. Um, it just seemed like it was written by that type of teacher. Like, it was just very, very off-putting. But yeah, Debian is a no-go on my systems, and it really upsets me because Debian, like, I should be able to enjoy Debian. Debian is one of those things where, come on, everything is based off of you. And how on God's green earth can Debian perform and not work nearly as well as almost any other distro that's based on it that I've tried? It's ridiculous. Like, it's actually ridiculous. But that being said, this video is about making friends in the Linux space, and how I think that's the best thing about Linux, in my opinion. So, in the sake of not ruining friendships, I'm not going to continue crapping on Debian. So yeah, I that was my experience with Debian today. But I'm back on Arch. I like it. It's weird. I know people complain about Arch not being reliable, or super difficult. Arch, it's funny because I'm the exact opposite. It works great for me. It's reliable. It's easy to install. It just takes me like 15 minutes to install Arch, and then I just need to pull down all the programs and all the drivers, firmware, all that stuff that I want, and then it works. It just works. But that's it for this, because Buddy's gonna start barking, of course, and the dogs are going crazy upstairs. So I think that's time we end it off. Thank you guys for watching it. If you do enjoy the video, got some opinions to share, let me know. Good Lord, them dogs upstairs are going crazy. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today, and hope you guys have a fantastic one, and thank you to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Bye.